So, Mr. William, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is William Stenhouse from the U.S. I've been in the region here in the Middle East for the last 16 years. I'm a former executive for a multinational logistics company. I started the UAE Africa Networking Group back in 2016. We run a number of initiatives, one being IWIN, which is Inspiring Women in the Network, where we help women from all over Africa and the UAE, where we give them a platform, where we introduce them to the markets, investors, folks who are interested in their products. Also, we have an initiative called YES, which is Young, Entrepreneurial, and Successful. Also, Connecting the Dots, and a number of initiatives. We also meet locally now, here every Wednesday at KIZA.
So you guys are kind of like the front runners when it comes to networking and connecting people and pushing people, to achieve and be their best.
Correct. Well, we help companies, we help individuals, entrepreneurs, SMEs to connect with other markets. Ideally, companies from the UAE, from Dubai, who would like to do business in Africa, and also African businesses that want to do business in the UAE. Okay. We actually help connect.
Join the world together.
Exactly.
That's
and
wonderful.
Here today's event is a great example of that.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of wonderful people from all different types of fields were here today, networking and just supporting Genevieve and the launch of the Jigsaw Effect of Leaders.
Absolutely.
So we're happy to have you with us here today as well.
Thank you.
So chapter 1 of this book is called Unearthing Your Strengths. So, Mr. William, as somebody who's obviously an expatriate, in the UAE, what gave you the willpower and the drive and determination to come to the UAE and, first of all, launch UAE Africa? You said in 2016.
That's correct.
And now you have over 1,000 members.
That's correct.
So people obviously believe in your vision. Absolutely. And appreciate the good that you're doing with this networking group. So, what gave you that strength? How did you understand and realize what your strength was, and how did you know how to apply it, to be able to create a business like this?
So, I think it's simple. Sometimes as leaders, you just have to take the lead. You have to start, you have to begin. It may not be favorable in the beginning. It may not be something that people really believe in, but in time, they actually see the value in it. Back in 2016, I saw there was a gap in the market where there are companies that would like to know more information, would like to know credible people in African markets, and we wanted to be able to make those introductions. As I mentioned before, I was working for a multinational company where we were actually building infrastructure projects in Africa in at least 7 different markets. So I got to know people, businesses, SMEs in those markets, and who also wanted to come to the UAE. So it just made sense to create this platform where both could happen, where I could connect the two communities and the two environments. And now that's what we are. We're a huge community where there's 53 nationalities now.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing. And when you look at the UAE has 204 nationalities here.
Yeah.
And Africa with 55, 54.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's a beautiful mesh. And that's why we call ourselves the UAE Africa Network.
That sounds good. So definitely a strength of yours is obviously networking. And would you say another one of your strengths is being able to see the strengths that other people have? Absolutely. And giving them the tools to exploit it?
Absolutely. Sometimes people don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to show that this is the direction that they need to go in, or this is the individual, or this is the market that they could potentially actually take advantage of and actually go into. So
that's probably what inspired you to open your business consultancy,
Absolutely.
Stenhouse and Associates.
That's correct.
It's a business consultancy, like you said, that encourages and assists people with opening up companies here within the UAE and in Africa.
Correct.
So give us a little bit more guidance in regards to what encouraged you to also launch that.
Okay, very good. So again, there are SMEs, there are entrepreneurs that have great products in Africa. There are Africans that are in the UK, that are in the US also. And similarly, they also want to enter this market. They don't know how.
Yes.
And so through the network, they're able to get a hold of me. I'm able to help them walk through the process. Because in any market that you want to go into, there's due diligence, there's market research, there's things that you need to understand before you do that. So that I call my company Stenhouse and Associates because there's so many associations that's required. You know, I don't have all the answers. And so you bring in the experts that are smart about those particular subjects. So market analysis goes to someone, marketing goes to someone else, and I just help curate the whole thing. So that's the value that we bring. And so it's an easy entry into the market.
So I think from, you know, just having this short discussion with you, I think you definitely, another one of your strengths is you have the foresight to kind of see holes in the market and obviously encourage people to fill it with their talents and their own strengths.
That's correct.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So chapter 2 in Genevieve's The Jigsaw Effect of Leaders talks about the power of a team. So obviously, you know, you had the vision to start UAE Africa Networking Group. You had the vision to start Stenhouse and Associates. But I mean, everybody gets to that point where you have a great vision, you have a great idea, and you're like, okay, so how do I go about doing it? So how did you realize your how? Like, how did you come to that conclusion to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is the power team that I need to put together to bring this dream alive?
I'm a student of leadership. I mean, I've always been in a leadership role, even in my family. So for me, it's a no-brainer. You know, when I see it comes naturally. When I see that there's something missing or there's a gap that needs filled, we fill it. You know, again, this event, you know, someone needed help to make sure that it happened, so we make it happen. You know, we never say no. We say how. You know, how do we do it? How do we, you know, where do we do it? You know?
That's really good. So I'm understanding that, you know, for you to have achieved the success, the level of success that you have so far, you understood the importance of having a powerful team and bringing the right people together to bring your vision to life.
Absolutely, 100%.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So in chapter 3, Genevieve, the author of The Jigsaw Effect of Leaders, she talks about the challenges in building a team. So you have this great vision, you know, of starting these 2 amazing companies. One of them is a huge networking platform. Another is for people who want to, you know, create companies here in the UAE and in Africa. And you have this great vision in a time where, you know, this region or this country has never perceived or, you know, they haven't had an open mind in regards to visualizing something like that being created here. And here you are with this bright idea.
Sure.
So what challenges did you face in getting people to, you know, see the vision that you had, you know, in order for them to come on board and to share in that vision in order to bring your companies to life?
Well, so I think the UAE is a very unique market where anyone from across the world and across Africa, for that matter, can come and set up their business here. They can live here, they can prosper here, they can do business here. Unlike other markets where you've got to apply for a visa and you may or may not get it.
Yes.
And then, you know, setting up a business is not always easy to do, but here the rules are very clear. There's cost associated, and everything is pretty much mapped out for you in terms of how you get to where you need to be. But just like in any market, you got to be smart about how you do it.
So in chapter 4 of Genevieve's The Jigsaw Effect of Leaders, she talks about the principles of team building. So what principles did you follow in order to establish your team for both UAE Africa Networking Group as well as Stenhouse and Associates?
So I think integrity is number 1 for me. Whenever we're talking about teams, we're talking about individuals who work for me. Integrity is simply defined doing the right thing when no one is looking. That's very, very important. Trust and being communication. If you see something wrong, say it. You know, don't wait until it goes completely wrong before you say something. So always be forthright with what you see, and even in terms of making things better. So for the team, for yourself, and for our clients. So as a board member, it's very important. So I think those three elements are really key to
That's good.
success.
I definitely agree with everything that you've said, you know. And her last chapter talks about what makes leaders successful. And so you've obviously been on this journey, you know, in your life. We all go through journeys, and you have your companies to show for it, you know, to show that you have achieved your vision successfully. And so, you know, what do you think contributed to your success?
I think a good upbringing.
Yeah.
It started with my mother. I mean, my mother was, you know, probably the most important influence in my life. You know, and her leadership and how she raised me. You know. Also, I've had great mentors. I did 21 years of military service, also with the U.S. Air Force. So there was a lot of discipline there that I also achieved, and also a lot of great leadership lessons as well. I'm a student of leadership. I mean, one of the great leaders that I've followed is Colin Powell. You know? And one of the things that I love, we talked about challenges earlier. One of the great quotes that I remember from him that I use on a regular basis, where he says, "What looks bad today looks better in the morning."
Very true. It's all about perspective.
It's
right?
all about perspective. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. So thank you once again for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And obviously, you know, being part of this great book release. And do you have any words, you know, for Genevieve and in regards to the success of her book launch, The Jigsaw Effect of Leaders?
Well, I'll just say congratulations on the release of the book. Thanks for doing it with us here in Dubai. I don't think there's no shortage of books on leadership. So I think you know, there's always room in the market for such books on leadership. So again, well done, congratulations, and I can't wait to read it actually.
And thank you so much for your time and sharing your story with us, your journey with us, and enlightening, you know, all the other entrepreneurs out there and giving them, sharing your vision so that, you know, they can use that as a light and a guide to better themselves. So thank you so much for your
Great job also.
VP Productions and Talent Agency.